So, hello, my name is Kashuna Watts. I'm a birth and postpartum doula in Jackson, Mississippi. This is Rebekah. This is Lim. We've been working together since the beginning of her pregnancy. If you are comfortable, Rebekah, we can talk a little bit about your birth story.
My name is Rebekah. I am a nurse. I work in telehealth, so I work from home. And I live in Clinton, Mississippi. Kashuna is my doula, and she has been a very significant person in my birthing process, my entire pregnancy. And I'm very, very grateful to have connected with her, and hopefully I can get some other moms to be connected with her as well. So basically, I knew that I wanted a different birthing experience from my previous two births. It's sad to say that I remember my previous two birth stories were a little traumatic because I did not advocate for myself. I didn't know I could advocate for myself. I basically didn't know a lot about anything. So I feel like that birth experience was more my doctor's experience. So I was like, okay, I have to do something different this time. I want to find a doula because I knew of doulas. I just didn't know like exactly where to find one, the extent of like the services they provided. Mm-hmm. So I started probably like everyone with a Google search. Went to Google, like doulas in Mississippi, didn't really find anything. At work, I was asking people like, do you know of any doulas? And I work in healthcare. So I was like, someone has to know a doula. Do you know a doula? No one knew anything. And then one of my coworkers was like, yeah, I know someone. So she gave me that contact, and that was Raquel. And I ended up having an initial conversation with her. But I saw your Facebook page, and that's when I contacted you, and we just clicked. And Raquel, she was just telling me, make sure you go with a doula you're comfortable with. It doesn't have to be me. And I really liked that right off the bat because it wasn't about her. She made it my decision. And so I decided to go with Kashuna because I feel like we vibed really well. She really got me, my personality, and what I was looking for out of this experience. And so on our initial meeting, I would say I was a little overwhelmed because I was like, okay, you had all these papers and a lot of papers. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. I did not know this. I didn't have this experience, but I welcomed it because I was like, this is going to help me reach my goal. And when it got to my actual birth, the day I was induced, I walked into the hospital that morning. I was very confident. I was so sure of myself, like what I was about to do. I wasn't scared at all because I felt like I have all these tools. Like I did my yoga, which was awesome. I was doing yoga like the day before because I was like, we're gonna make this work. And even to this day, he's 3 weeks old today. I feel awesome. I feel like I had to go home after delivering and pace myself because I wanted to jump back into my regular routine because I felt great. So the yoga was super helpful. And I also feel like the going to a chiropractor, because you got me in touch with a chiropractor, start doing yoga because it helps.
It does. It plays a significant role in just opening up the birth canal to be able to prep your body for birth.
Yeah. And I feel like that's exactly what it did because it was amazing. Like, and a lot of people probably wouldn't describe their, birth as like, oh, it was amazing. It felt great. It really, really did. And I feel like that in turn helped me after birth because I was alert. I was awake. I wasn't tired. I wasn't in so much pain. I wanted to hold him. I wanted to go ahead and start feeding him so we could bond. I had so much more energy as opposed to before. I was super drained. I just wanted to sleep. Nothing else mattered. But right away, I was just like, okay, I feel awesome. I remember thinking, my sister was there. I was like, this really worked. Like, you need to tell people about this. Because I definitely was a skeptic in the beginning. but I'm definitely a believer, especially in the yoga. And when I started the yoga, I was a little skeptical because I was like, why does she have these pregnant women here doing yoga? And this is going to be impossible. I can't do this with this big belly. But the yoga instructor was very accommodating. She made sure we had a safe environment. She made sure we were comfortable. And if we felt like we couldn't do something, she at least got us to try it.
Right.
And, we could do it. So she was very accommodating. She made sure, she was there to support us. I was doing the yoga moves at home with my older kids. They were, doing the moves with me. And I felt like that really, really helped because, like I said, I did not feel like I had a baby. I did not think that was possible to feel that way after giving birth.
Okay. And even when you were having contractions, she was just like, I don't feel anything. I don't think anything's happening. I was like, yeah, it's happening.
Like, I remember I called you because I felt like I hit that wall where your brain is telling you you can't do this, but your body is like, there's no turning back. You're about to do this. So I called you because I just needed your support at that moment in time because you were on your way. It happened so fast. You weren't able to make it in time. And I was just like, okay. I did, and he came out. He came out. It was so quick. The doctor was super surprised. She barely made it because she had just left the room. And she came back, and he was there. And I was just like, that was it? Because I didn't feel like I got the opportunity to push. He was out. But it was a good experience because I felt like I said, I was alert. I was so in tune with everything. So that played a role in like our bonding, like right after. And all the nurses were really helpful. But I felt like overall I was able to advocate for myself. Like I knew what to ask when they checked my blood pressure. I knew what to ask for, what parameters to question them on. If they were giving me anything through my IV, I asked them what it was for. I didn't know before that I could ask not to be checked or to be checked. And so I took advantage of that. If I feel like I wanted them to check me, I asked for that. And if not, I could decline it. I wasn't afraid this time. I wasn't.
You were so in tune with everything that was going on.
Yeah.
Like the nurses and.
Like you would think you would just be so discombobulated because all these people are coming in the room. But I was like, I know what this person is doing. I know what they're doing. I know what she's doing down here. And I felt like I was in control. I felt like it was my birth. And it wasn't the nurse's birth. It wasn't the doctor's. It was my birth. And that's how I wanted it to be, from the beginning when I sought out a doula. I wanted to have an experience that was mine. And I feel like that's exactly what I got. I feel like sometimes, like when women call the doctor or call the nurse, on-call nurse, they're like, I don't want to bother them. But I never felt like I was bothering you. I was like, okay, she's going to be there. She doesn't mind answering my questions. And it's better than, going to Google. So I felt like you were definitely there for every step of the way. I don't know. I feel like if I had to do it over again, I would do everything the same. Like I would.
That's powerful.
I would do everything the same. I just think about the experience with Liam versus my older kids, and it's totally different. Like I can describe their birth as traumatizing. His birth was not traumatizing. And I feel like that's, even though that's saddening to say, I feel more empowered now, definitely.
That's amazing.
Okay. So going through this whole experience and having a doula, I was curious to know, what made you become a doula because you're so passionate about it. It seems like you've been doing this your whole life, like you're so good at it. And it kind of has put me on a path to, question my own career, is becoming a doula something I would be good at? So I would just want to know, like, what made you go down that path?
When I was pregnant with my 4-year-old now, I didn't have that doula support. I didn't educate myself. I don't feel like I had access to the resources that will allow me to just have that birth experience that I desired. So for me, I just wanted to be that person that I needed while I was pregnant and while I was going through it. I wanted to be there to just educate women, empower women, let them know that, hey, you do have a voice. This is your birth. This is your birth. This is your body. This is your choice. Or while you may have another baby, you will never have this experience again. And just getting the education out there, just letting women know that, hey, it's our provider's choice. It's our provider's job to, serve us and to deliver our babies. But it's your responsibility to do your due diligence and educate yourself. Get in sync with your pregnancy. Get proactive. Figure out what's out there. You're having back pain. Ask about that. Don't just sweep it under the rug. Don't just, put it on the back burner. You are important. Your concerns should be highlighted. Your concerns should be addressed. Don't allow yourself to be, or your health to be thrown on the back burner. Every woman deserves adequate care. And I don't feel like with our numbers in Mississippi, I don't feel like every woman was getting it. Maybe it's the educating ourselves about pregnancies. Maybe it's the advocacy. But my top priority as a doula is to get women that I serve, like every client that I serve, my goal is to train them, like doula train them over, like throughout their process, like not like with the certification wise or anything, but just let them know what I know. If I'm there, if I'm not there, I want you to be able to speak up for yourself, ask these questions. I want you to be able to know, hey, what is this going in my IV or whatever? How is it going to react? Am I safe? Is baby safe? Can I have 15 minutes to think about it? You don't just have to just rush and just make these decisions because your providers are pushing you to do those. But just knowing what's going on.
I remember, like, almost before every appointment, you would tell me, make a list of questions you want to ask. That's what they're there for, ask these questions, And I would always come in to my appointment with, like, a list on my phone. But my provider, she welcomed, my questions, and she was very good with answering them. But you always make sure, have questions to ask. That's the main thing. I think women, especially Black women, are just taught to, deal with it, sweep it under the rug, especially when it comes to pregnancy. Oh, this is normal. This is just how it is.
Absolutely.
When really you need to speak up, especially if you're questioning, should I call the nurse? Should I, it's 2 a.m. in the morning. Should I go to the emergency room? Yes. Do what you feel like your body is telling you to do.
Absolutely.
Because I know I question myself. Like, do I need to go, or do I need to tell Kashuna this? Yeah, I think I told you everything because I'm like,
Yes.
I'm not sweeping anything under the rug. I'm listening to my body. Because
add, like when you make those questions, your provider has to answer those questions. And also, I would just like to say, like, a lot of women don't know that, like, if you are questioning, like, whether or not the care that you got at the time, like, just say you have to go to the ER. If you feel like, hey, something is wrong with me, something is, like I'm having chest pain, but I'm being discharged, you can ask your provider to document that. Just in case anything happened or whatever, just for your protection. So now that we talked about birth, let's get into postpartum a little bit. I just want to know how you're feeling, and a little bit also more about your breastfeeding experience.
Oh, yeah.
How it started versus how it's going.
Okay, well, the physical aspect postpartum, like I said, I feel amazing. Thanks to all of that yoga, I feel like I don't feel like I've had a baby 3 weeks ago. But with the mental aspect, I feel like birth changes you physically, but it also changes you mentally. And, no one is immune to, mental health issues. I have been experiencing just like the typical, what they call baby blues from time to time, especially like being a new mom, you're at home. I'm at home by myself because my kids go to school, so it's just me and him. And I knew, I had to do something to kind of get me out of that rabbit hole, so to speak. So I just, got in contact with you, and you gave me contact information for a therapist, which I feel like everybody needs to see a therapist, especially new moms. Even if you don't feel like your mental health is crucial at that point in time, it's just good to talk to someone, because that's what they're there for. Not everyone in your family or circle of friends may understand or are trained to listen to you in that capacity. And also, I feel like, doing things for yourself is really important for mental health of new moms. Taking, the baby on a stroll, but we have to take care of ourselves first. And I feel like being mentally healthy is also helping me with my breastfeeding experience. With my first two babies, I did not have the breastfeeding experience I wanted. That was traumatizing as well. But with Liam, we're exclusively breastfeeding successfully for 3 weeks now. I feel really confident. I feel like I could teach breastfeeding. I feel super confident. It was a struggle at first. I knew from past experience, the first 3 or so days were going to be rough. It was going to be painful, and it was painful. It was very difficult because it was kind of like you're fighting your baby. You're like, I need you to do this for the baby's like, I don't know how to do it. So they're learning. And once we got over that hump, like breastfeeding is so enjoyable now because it's like something we share, Liam and I. We're continuing to bond during breastfeeding. I love to watch him get what they call milk drunk.
Right.
And I know, that came from me. Like I was able to provide that for him.
I am so happy to hear that, and which you did. In my opinion, you were doing great from birth. He just came out knowing exactly what to do, where to go, and how to do it. But I just want to add, like, I am so happy that you had your experience not only empowered you, but it also empowered me, and allowed me the opportunity to just keep doing what I'm doing, and remain stress free, because it's like an accomplishment for me. Like, okay, well, we got through this birth. She's feeling empowered. She's feeling good. So that makes me want to go serve someone else and give them, their desired outcome and experience. Thank you so much for this conversation and the opportunity to serve you and be in your birth space.
I appreciate you. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you've changed me. And I feel like that in turn will, have an impact on his life. I really appreciate everything I got out of you as a doula, and I continue to get out of you as a doula. And I don't know, we might work together in the future, whether it be as me being a doula or in another capacity, because I feel like this is not the end of my journey.
You may be my doula.